Did you know that some of the most popular foods in your kitchen, the ones you probably eat every single day, could be secretly speeding up the aging process after you turn 50? I'm talking about foods that might look harmless, taste amazing, and even carry labels like heart healthy or whole grain, but behind the scenes, they're triggering silent inflammation, damaging your cells, and shortening your lifespan. Which ones are they? How exactly are they affecting your skin, your brain, your heart? And what can you do about it starting today? Stick with me, because what you're about to discover could completely change how you look at your meals, your habits, and even the aging process itself. If you care about staying sharp, mobile, and full of life after 50, hit that subscribe button now so you don't miss out on any life-changing health insights. Let's jump right in. There's something that happens quietly in the body as we age. It's called inflammaging, a low-grade chronic inflammation that slowly chips away at your vitality. It affects your joints, your skin, your blood vessels, and especially your brain. And guess what's feeding this silent fire more than anything else? It's not just time, it's food. More specifically, certain foods you might be eating right now without a second thought. But here's the twist. It's not just about junk food. Some of the most damaging options are hiding behind so-called healthy marketing claims. And the first one we need to talk about is sugar. Not just the white stuff in your coffee, sugar in all its forms. Added sugars in sauces, dressings, breakfast bars, cereals, fruit juices, and yes, even in some healthy yogurts. What makes sugar so dangerous isn't just the calories. It's the cascade of damage it creates inside the body. Every time you eat a sugary treat, your blood sugar spikes. Your insulin rushes in to deal with it. And if this happens repeatedly, day after day, your cells start to resist insulin. That's insulin resistance, the foundation of so many age-related diseases, from type 2 diabetes to Alzheimer's, which some researchers now call type 3 diabetes. But here's what most people don't realize. When insulin resistance sets in, your body becomes inflamed. Not the kind of inflammation that gives you a fever. This is deeper, slower, more dangerous. Your arteries start to stiffen. Your brain begins to struggle with memory. Your skin loses its glow. Your joints ache. And inside your cells, the mitochondria, your energy generators, start breaking down. That's the price of a sugary snack. And yes, it includes things like fruit juices, even if the label says no added sugar, because when you juice fruit, you strip away the fiber that slows down absorption. What's left is a fast hit of fructose, which goes straight to the liver and can fuel fatty liver disease, insulin resistance, and premature aging. But sugar isn't acting alone. There's another group of foods that works hand in hand with sugar to drive aging, and they're even more sneaky. I'm talking about refined carbohydrates, white bread, white rice, pasta, pastries, and all the so-called healthy snacks made from wheat flour or rice flour. These foods don't look like sugar, but once they hit your mouth, enzymes break them down into simple glucose molecules almost instantly. You see, starch is just a long chain of sugar, and your body doesn't care if it came from a cookie or a slice of whole wheat toast. It still spikes your blood sugar, floods your bloodstream with glucose, and kicks off the same inflammatory response. So yes, that morning bagel, that sandwich at lunch, that bowl of pasta at dinner, they might be aging your body faster than you think. And here's where it gets really interesting. Once insulin resistance begins, the problem doesn't stay in your blood. It spreads. Your brain starts struggling with glucose metabolism. That's when memory lapses become more frequent. Focus disappears. You walk into a room and forget why you're there, and you chalk it up to aging, but in reality, it might be your diet. Meanwhile, your skin starts losing elasticity. Collagen breaks down faster, wrinkles deepen, and your energy drops, even though you're eating regularly. It's a paradox. Eating more, but feeling worse. And it's driven by food that robs your cells of efficiency. But here's the good news. When you remove or drastically reduce these foods, something amazing happens. Within days, inflammation begins to drop. Your blood sugar stabilizes. Your energy becomes more consistent. Your brain feels clearer, your skin glows, and within weeks your risk of many chronic diseases starts to fall. Now let's talk about something even more insidious, something that doesn't taste sweet and doesn't spike your blood sugar but still damages your body at the cellular level. These are industrial seed oils, also known as vegetable oils. Think soybean oil, corn oil, cottonseed oil, sunflower oil, canola oil. You'll find them in almost every packaged food in the supermarket, from chips and crackers to salad dressings and frozen meals. These oils are ultra-processed, heat-treated, and often chemically deodorized to mask their rancid smell. They're high in omega-6 fatty acids, which in small amounts are fine, but in the modern diet, we consume them in excess, creating a huge imbalance with omega-3s. Why does that matter? Because that imbalance drives inflammation, oxidative stress, and even alters the way your cell membranes function. Your cells, every single one, are wrapped in a layer of fat, and when that fat is made up of unstable oils, the cell becomes fragile. It can't communicate well, it's more prone to damage, and your immune system reacts. Chronic inflammation follows. Even worse, these oils don't just float around in your blood, they get incorporated into your fat cells. They hang around. Some studies suggest they can linger in your body for months, even years, continuing to do damage long after you've stopped eating them. And it's not just your arteries or your skin. These oils affect your brain, your cognitive performance, your memory, your mood. Which brings us to the next point, accelerated brain aging. And one food that contributes to this is artificial sweeteners. Now, this one might seem confusing. You've probably heard that switching from sugar to artificial sweeteners can help with weight loss or blood sugar control. But emerging research is painting a different picture. Certain artificial sweeteners may alter the gut microbiome in ways that increase glucose intolerance. Others may affect brain chemistry, increasing cravings for sweet foods or confusing the way your body responds to insulin. Some have been linked to disruptions in learning and memory, especially in people over 50. The problem isn't just what these sweeteners do directly, it's what they represent. A mindset that says, I can keep eating sweet things as long as I swap out the sugar. But the craving itself, the dependency on sweetness, is what keeps you trapped in the loop. And it's that loop that makes healthy aging nearly impossible. At this point, you might be wondering, what about dairy? Isn't that supposed to be good for your bones? For protein? For calcium? Here's the thing. Dairy is a complex category. But for people over 50, some forms of dairy, especially low-fat and processed varieties like skim milk, flavored yogurts, or processed cheese, can be a hidden source of inflammation. That's because many of these products are high in added sugars, low in healthy fats, and often stripped of the very nutrients that make full-fat dairy beneficial. Worse, processed dairy can provoke immune responses in people who are lactose intolerant or sensitive to casein, the primary protein in milk. The result? Bloating, brain fog, joint pain, and even skin issues, all subtle signs that your body isn't aging well. And yes, these effects can build up quietly. One bowl of sugary cereal with skim milk in the morning won't age you overnight, but day after day, year after year, the cumulative effect can be dramatic. So what can you do? Instead, if you're over 50 and your joints ache when you get out of bed, go upstairs, or just try to enjoy a walk. It's not your age, and it's not your fault. The real issue? Your body's running out of a natural substance that cushions your joints like a shock absorber. And most supplements out there, glucosamine, collagen, all of it, don't fix this. But now, researchers have discovered a breakthrough that can actually restore what your joints are missing. And people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s are seeing real relief. If you're feeling stiff, sore, or weaker lately, stop guessing. Check the link in the pinned comment now. Let's pick up right where we left off, because now it's time to talk about some of the most overlooked, underestimated, and shockingly common foods that doctors are quietly warning people over 50 to cut back on if they want to age well, stay sharp, and keep their bodies strong. So far, we've covered sugar, refined carbs, seed oils, artificial sweeteners, and processed dairy. But the story doesn't end there. In fact, one of the most harmful ingredients for aging is something people consume without even knowing it. It's in salad dressings, in chips, in crackers, in baked goods, even in health bars, and protein-packed snacks. It's trans fats. Now you may think, didn't we ban trans fats already? And yes, partially. The FDA has made moves to eliminate artificial trans fats from food production. But here's the trick. Food companies can still legally label a product as 0 grams trans fat, if it contains less than 0.5 grams per serving. That means you could eat a handful of those foods and still be getting a significant dose of these harmful fats without realizing it. Why are trans fats so damaging? Because they interfere with every single cell in your body. They change the structure of your cell membranes, making them rigid and dysfunctional. They interfere with cholesterol metabolism. They increase bad cholesterol, LDL, and lower your good cholesterol, HDL. They raise inflammation. They damage blood vessels. And yes, they accelerate aging at a cellular level. Studies have linked trans fats to heart disease, memory problems, and even mood disorders. So when you see words like partially hydrogenated oils on a label, run, because those aren't just empty calories. They're active agents of aging. But now let's talk about a category that might surprise you. Processed meats. Think deli meats, bacon, sausage, hot dogs. Yes, they're high in sodium. Yes, they're often filled with preservatives. But the real issue goes deeper than that. These meats often contain nitrates and nitrites, preservatives that can convert into nitrosamines in the body, especially when exposed to high heat. And nitrosamines are known carcinogens. But beyond the cancer risk, they're also linked to inflammation and oxidative stress, two major drivers of aging. Eating processed meats regularly after 50 has been associated with a higher risk of heart disease, cognitive decline, and digestive issues. But even more troubling is how they interact with your gut microbiome. Because what you eat doesn't just feed you, it feeds your bacteria. And if you've been consuming these aging foods for decades, chances are your gut microbiome has taken a hit. That means fewer beneficial bacteria, more pathogenic ones, and increased intestinal permeability, often called leaky gut. When your gut lining weakens, toxins and food particles can leak into the bloodstream, triggering immune responses that lead to widespread inflammation. And where there's chronic inflammation, there's accelerated aging. Now, speaking of the microbiome, let's circle back to a sneaky source of damage that's in nearly every pantry in America: ultra-processed foods. These aren't just junk foods. Ultra-processed foods include packaged snacks, microwave meals, boxed cereals, and even seemingly innocent things like flavored yogurt, granola bars, and store-bought smoothies. They're designed for long shelf life, addictive taste, and minimal nutrition. And here's what researchers are finding. People over 50 who consume a high amount of ultra-processed food are more likely to suffer from cognitive decline, cardiovascular issues, and weakened immune function. One large-scale study even showed that for every 10% increase in ultra-processed food intake, the risk of all-cause mortality rose significantly. Why? Because these foods are stripped of fiber, overloaded with additives, and engineered to be overeaten. They spike your blood sugar, inflame your gut, and fail to deliver the nutrients your body needs to repair itself. But maybe the most disturbing part? They change how your brain responds to hunger and satisfaction. They override the natural signals that tell you you're full, so you eat more. You gain weight. And weight gain after 50 isn't just about looks. It's strongly linked to inflammation, hormonal imbalance, and reduced longevity. So where does that leave us? Let's pause for a moment and reflect. Because right now, you might be asking yourself, what can I eat? If sugar, refined carbs, vegetable oils, processed meats, and packaged foods are all aging me, am I supposed to live off air and water? Absolutely not. In fact, once you take these aging foods off your plate, a whole new world of nourishing, anti-aging options opens up. Whole foods, colorful vegetables, clean proteins, healthy fats, herbs and spices that don't just flavor your food, but fight inflammation. And when you start eating in a way that supports your biology instead of battling it, something incredible happens. Your skin begins to glow, not from a serum, but from the inside out. Your brain gets sharper, not from a supplement, but because you've removed the foods that were clouding your thinking. Your digestion improves, your joints ache less, your energy returns, and your sleep becomes deeper, more restorative, like it hasn't been in years. It's not magic. It's not a gimmick. It's biology, responding to nourishment. And what's even more powerful than any single nutrient is consistency. The people who age the best, the ones who stay vibrant, active, and mentally sharp into their 70s, 80s, even 90s, aren't chasing the next diet trend. They're simply avoiding the common traps and fueling their bodies with food that was made for humans, not machines. That means preparing simple meals from real ingredients, choosing olive oil over canola, choosing water or herbal teas instead of soda and diet drinks, eating mindfully, not on autopilot in front of the TV. And here's where the transformation really happens. When you stop looking at food as just something to get through the day and start seeing it as the raw material for your next decade of health. Because every bite you take is either contributing to aging or fighting it. So the next time you're at the store, ask yourself, is this food helping me build a stronger brain, a younger heart, a more resilient body? Or is it quietly aging me from the inside out? The difference might just come down to the 7 foods we talked about today. The ones that doctors are warning us about, because they're common, they're sneaky, and they're powerful drivers of aging in people over 50. And now you know what they are. You know how they work. You know how they sneak into your day. And most importantly, you know what to do about it. So here's your next step. Watch the video that's appearing on screen right now. It'll show you how to build a simple, delicious, and powerful anti-aging plate. One that helps reverse damage, boost energy, and help you feel years younger, starting with your next meal.